the objectives we have set ourselves. There's many things we can say on education. I want to move to an area that's extremely important for us. Honorable members, crime has now moved to the same top spot like unemployment as a matter of big concern in Gauteng. We have just conducted the latest survey, not just the stats from the police. The latest survey says crime levels are so high, it now competes with unemployment as the greatest issue of concern in Gauteng. We have reported, honorable members, in the last State of the Province address, the work we are doing to support the police in Gauteng. We have reported that we continue to procure additional vehicles to support the police. We have also reported we have increased the number of traffic officers in Gauteng Province. At least 264 of those have already been appointed. We are working with CPFs and patrollers across the province to tackle the issue of crime. I want to say to you that the police through Ukai Mulao have been working very, very hard to chase the criminals in Gauteng Province. Through Ukai Mulao. They are visible. The police are visible in various communities in Gauteng Province. We know the criminals are making life difficult. I want to assure the criminals that the South African Police Service, at least under the leadership of the Provincial Commissioner General Mawela, I know that they are getting more and more of these criminals behind bars. Under the leadership of General Mawela, more and more criminals are getting behind bars. We are confident that even amongst those under the leadership of General Mawela, the police service is being cleaned up. Corrupt elements amongst the police are getting disciplined and others are getting prosecuted, completely fired from the police service.
Honorable members, let me remind you of Rule 87. Please, I'm also worried that noise pollution might also affect our ears, but others will also get sore throat for making a lot of noise. Please, can we be spared and allow the Premier to continue? Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I must say that the crimes against women and children, and particularly gender-based violence, is something we must confront head-on. We must also deal with that in our own families, in our own communities. Confront this crime, but we need a police service better resourced and better organized to deal with this. We also need to mobilize communities, and we can report to you that the gender-based violence brigades are doing wonderful work in our communities as volunteers who are working with government to help confront gender-based violence in Gauteng. We have 30 dedicated social workers who have been allocated. We have also allocated dedicated vehicles. We have expanded the Green Door program in Gauteng Province and the homes of safety to ensure that there's real visible action in our communities to empower victims of gender-based violence, including reorganizing our police stations to have places that are friendly to treat and work with those who are coming to report cases of gender-based violence. So there are 36 green doors across Gauteng Province who are addressing all these challenges together with our law enforcement agencies. As a result, we are now reaching 437,000 people across Gauteng who are beneficiaries of this intervention. This is only the beginning, because there are more women and there are more men and there are children in our own communities who are also victims of gender-based violence. I must add, gender-based violence is not only affecting women. Women are the primary victims of it, and the men are the perpetrators, but there are also men who are victims of gender-based violence. And that's why we need a combined effort. We need a combined effort. We need to hold hands. And we need men who can come to the fore and not just say not in our name, but practically work in all these programmatic interventions. So, honorable members, our patrollers are continuing to do work. Our CPF are continuing to do work. Our police are continuing to do work on Operation Ukaimulao. But the criminals are also continuing to do work. The criminals are getting sophisticated day in, day out. So we need a comprehensive response to deal with this. We are still committed to build the command center, which we have announced in 2019. We are still committed to build that. We are collaborating with the private sector on our anti-crime initiatives to make Gauteng much, much safer. It is important to also report that our programs of dealing with poverty and hunger have shown significant results in helping particularly those who are hungry in our province to have some food on the table. We have done so over the entire pre-pandemic period, as well as during the pandemic period in intervening to ensure people have access to food. This program is led by our Department of Social Development, working in partnership with the NPO sector. I want to share with you the story of one NPO called Umnoto for Empowerment, which is accredited for providing youth development training, funded by social development in the informal settlement called Video in Muldersdrift in the West Rand. Florence Sibeko, the manager of this NPO, says the following about what they are doing. She says, only this year we have placed more than 300 beneficiaries in the tourism sector, following their completion of training offered to them here at that center. We offer life skills training, business skills, technical training, social change, and entrepreneurship development. Almost all the waiters and bartenders in the lodges and restaurants in Muldersdrift are trained by us. This is Umnot. And the entrepreneurs dealing with welding and plumbing around here in the area of the West Rand are also trained by us, including Kagiso, including Manseville. They are also trained. Listen to how the story continues. That over a period, Umnoto survived COVID, is training these people but it is also able to ensure that over 60% of them get jobs once they have completed training. So Umnoto is a primary example of how an NPO in the social sector can help us train, not only train, but ensure access to employment in various communities. So let's give a big round of applause to Umnoto. So honorable members, our food security program has benefited over 2.8 million people only just during the period of COVID. Over 2.8 million people in 2020 and 2021 have benefited from our food security program. And we have worked with NGOs, faith-based organizations, businesses to ensure we expand this food security program. We have also provided school uniforms and dignity packs to over 39,000 young women across our province in this regard. So, honorable members, those who take it for granted that not having food on the table, not being able to feed your children can be a very heart-wrenching and embarrassing and heartbreaking thing. Those who take it for granted would not understand why this food security program is so key for millions of people in Gauteng who need government help and government intervention. So it's something we are going to expand and we will not abandon. Our Department of Agriculture has also been expanding its work on the development and support for small-scale food producers, including emerging farmers across Gauteng province in many respects. A total of more than 701 smallholder farmers were supported in Gauteng province, supported in various forms, working in partnership with the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in Gauteng province. And there's more work that we are doing to reach out to communities where food security is a real problem in Gauteng province. So, honorable members, it is absolutely important that the work we are doing has a full impact across, firstly, in mitigating the impact of COVID-19, but food security is also linked to the state of health and the state of well-being of people. If people don't have enough to eat, it becomes a health problem. So it is against that background that we say the healthcare sector in Gauteng carries one of the biggest burdens as the biggest healthcare system in Southern Africa. It is the largest healthcare system in Southern Africa. It carries a big burden with regard to treatment of people, over 30 million people across the country and the sub-Saharan Africa have access and use our public healthcare system. The backbone of our public healthcare system is the following. Honorable members, the clinic, if you want to know in Gauteng what really works well in the healthcare sector, our primary healthcare clinics are the backbone of our public healthcare system. Often we look at the hospitals where there are major problems, and there are a lot of hospitals where there are major problems. There are hospitals where there's outstanding work happening there. But our primary healthcare clinics are doing very well. 91% of them were just assessed for 2021 in 2021, and 334 of those have achieved ideal clinic status. They are not assessed by us, they are assessed by national. This is a comparison across 91% of our clinics in Gauteng are performing satisfactory service. 91% of them. And there are, as I said, there are problems at different levels. Our district hospitals, as well as our tertiary hospitals and central hospitals, with those 60% of them have achieved ideal status. You can see the gap there, because a lot of those ones are faced by the following two critical challenges. The first one is the state of infrastructure. Poor maintenance of infrastructure, especially in our hospitals, is a big problem. Secondly, the second problem is they are overloaded. They have huge human resource demands. The number of healthcare workers versus how many people those institutions are saved, the gap is huge. So human resource is a big issue in our public healthcare system. Infrastructure maintenance is a big issue in our healthcare system. It's a critical issue. And lastly, institutional instability, including leadership instability of the healthcare system at different levels. So we give an indication of the top 10 hospitals we identified, where we said work must be done and what has been done in this work. But we must tell you that one of the biggest problems, and I'm going to come and give a report on Charlotte Mekgwe, one of the biggest problems is the cost and how long it takes to do work on infrastructure, including the infrastructure of our public healthcare system. I have spoken about cost of infrastructure before and delivery on time as the big issue that we are going to be focusing on. So we have invested in some of the infrastructure that helped us to withstand COVID-19. We have reported about that, but we must report here that we are not satisfied with the progress that we are making. And I've said, since 2019, we have also appointed 33 out of 37 CEOs into the posts that exist to address the leadership issue in our healthcare system. And going back, our healthcare system also faces challenges. This is a national problem. The healthcare system is underfunded. It's a problem that everybody raises across the provinces. Whereas we can do everything we must with the resources we have, and they must be directed to the institutions, particularly to address human resource and infrastructure maintenance. But going forward, we are also going to do things differently. We are going to do things differently, honorable members. One of those things is that we want the Department of Health to be able to maintain infrastructure, the health infrastructure itself. We want the Department of Health to be able to do maintenance of its own infrastructure. It's not only the Department of Health. There are several departments that are doing projects that are saying they can deliver their projects at cost and on time. And those departments also themselves, we would like them to prove that they can deliver their project on cost and on time. We are not shutting down DID. We are not shutting down DID. There are interventions that we are making in DID, including the problems. Current investigations have led to the suspension of a large number of officials. You know, one of the important things we are also doing with DID, we are the first province to establish a Department of Infrastructure Development. You know, Honorable Damin. Now the Western Cape has just announced that they are establishing a Department of Infrastructure Development. Now others want us to disband the Department of Infrastructure. No, we will not do so. We are going to reposition. It can't do everything for everybody in this world. Because if it tries to do everything for everybody, it will fail, but it can't be given every project. We want to focus them on projects, put them on terms, and if they don't deliver on those, we are also bringing in what we call the best implementing agents in our state system and in the private sector. And let me tell you, that's what we did at Charlotte Makhura. We have brought in the DBSA. Firstly, we have given the Department of Health as the responsible department to take up responsibility, working with National Health Department. Secondly, the DBSA is now the implementing agent to finish up Charlotte Makhura Hospital refurbishment. They are doing that. We are confident they'll be able to refurbish it in the shortest space of time. They have made a commitment that they'll complete the refurbishment in 2023. But let me tell you, we are going for the rogues in the DID department. In our infrastructure space, the Special Investigation Unit has already identified people who must be disciplined, monies that must be recovered from service providers, and consequently those who must face jail. Those who must face jail. That's what we are doing with that department. So, honorable members, I want to reassure the people of our province that interventions on healthcare and interventions on overall rollout of infrastructure development in our province is underway. And this is something that will enable us to continue to respond to COVID the way we have done and do also even much, much better. So we have a detailed report to the people of our province on the various interventions we are making across the province. I want to give an update on human settlements. Since 2019, we have created 53,000 housing opportunities in Gauteng, since 2019. But before 2019, between 1994 and 2019, we have created 1.3 million housing opportunities in Gauteng province. You won't see them because you are driving informal settlements. You won't see them. When we build, you create an informal settlement. When we build a big project here, you create an informal settlement. But we are also formalizing those informal settlements. We are formalizing them. Your job is to invade land and to create informal settlements. Our job is to create better infrastructure and better human settlements in Gauteng province. In this report, we are giving an update of the projects that are on track. The mega human settlement projects that are on track. We are also updating that our land release program has already benefited 1,200 people. I know you don't know Elijah Bahai. You come from the West End, but you don't know Elijah Bahai. So we have gone there to give to young people who don't qualify, young professionals who don't qualify for the government subsidy, government housing. We have given them land and plans, 3 different plans to build beautiful houses for themselves in the West End and in Ekurhuleni. We have done that already in the West End, and even in the midst of COVID-19, we have been doing that. Elijah Bahai, you don't know Elijah Bahai. So honorable members will continue to speed up the implementation of our program of title deeds. And we still want to clear 44,000 title deeds and hand them over to their rightful owners in the next 2 years. 44,000, working with our municipalities, 44,000 people who have received houses need their title deeds. We will clear those. But you can't do title deeds, mayors will know that. You cannot do title deeds on land that is not, what is it called? Proclaimed. The land that is not proclaimed, where you have occupied the land illegally, that land, and even where we have housing there, we have to make sure there's proclamation of land. Yeah, we know that's your area of specialty. You occupy land illegally everywhere. So, honorable members, I would like to say that we have also released 28 properties because we have a program on property release, identifying government property and land to hand it over to particularly township businesses and black businesses that want to invest in those properties and operate their businesses. So last year we acquired 28 properties for this purpose, and we are now speeding up the process of releasing these properties to those who want to use them in Gauteng province. We have upgraded 181 informal settlements, and we are focusing on 6 hostels in Gauteng. Only 6 hostels will be the focus of the Gauteng provincial government. You agree, Honorable Dlamini. The Gauteng Provincial Government cannot be all over on the hostels. There are 6 hostels that are owned by the Gauteng Provincial Government. The upgrading of those hostels is currently underway. We are starting with bulk infrastructure. And I want to say municipalities must focus on the hostels that are owned by municipalities. There are many more hostels in our province that are owned by municipalities. So our municipalities must focus on upgrading them at the same time that we are focusing on upgrading those owned by us. I want to say to the mayors, it is absolutely important that we focus on electricity, sanitation, and water supply in our province, including the upgrading of roads, using the budgets that the municipalities are having, and also bringing in national government departments such as water and sanitation, and SOEs such as ESCOM in dealing with problems of electricity and water supply in our province. I want to recommit that this is the work we are going to do with our municipalities. So extensive work is being done on social cohesion, and social cohesion is an important area of our work. We have had social dialogues in Gauteng province to foster social cohesion. We have also provided support to 2,984 artists and sports practitioners who are affected by COVID-19. 2,900 of them were supported by the provincial government during the most difficult time of COVID. And the national government's program also benefited a lot of Gauteng artists. I also want to say to you, honorable members, we have legends and very successful sportsmen and women in our province and artists who are here. Please join me in welcoming our legend, Don Laka, who has joined us here today. Ubra Don is there at the back. There's Amapiano. Amapiano is a genre that comes originally from Gauteng. There are the Amapiano young people who are here. Where are you, Amapiano? Who are here? A lot of them are based in Tshwane. They've driven this very important genre in its evolution in our province. But I want to say Bradon this year is celebrating 50 years since his entry into the music industry. 5 decades. We know the Sundowns team of women are the champions. The Sundowns team of women, there they are the champions. They are the champions. We also have a group of young people in Gauteng who are the champions of chess, who have joined us today. 14 young people, they are school children who are the champions of chess. They are represented by those. Sports and the creative industries. Where is Khumuso Munchane? You know she is a star. She is our star. She is our star. We take off our hat for you. An outstanding star like you is somebody we must always respect. That's Khutatso Munchane. Khutatso Munchane. So, honorable members, we are continuing to invest in this area of sports and the creative industries, but we can tell you it was severely hit by the COVID pandemic. I know there are many aggrieved artists and sportsmen and women who feel we really need to open up. We need to open up as the situation of COVID is under control. They want to return to performances. They want to return to the stadia. We need to open up. and there are also those who feel they did not receive the support. We know there were many, many more who were not covered by us, but we say to those we could not cover, re ineleng matsoho metsing. It was not our intention to exclude you, we could only cover so many amongst you. Gauteng province is a province that attracts the most international migrants and migrants from across the continent and the Republic, from across the provinces. In-migration is a big issue into our province. So we welcome the announcement by National Cabinet that firstly, because there's no country that will not have migrants, but we want migrants in South Africa who are here legally in our country, who are documented. Migrants, we know they are in this country, they are operating in these sectors. And we also welcome refugees in our country, but they should be documented, they are welcome. But the big problem we face is that the porous borders are a problem in our country. So national government has announced an intervention to strengthen border security and border control to also enforce our immigration laws. And I say, as the provincial government, this is a matter of great concern. We go everywhere in Gauteng, the question of illegal migrants is featuring everywhere. It is featuring everywhere in our province. The important question is that we are working, we have worked with organizations representing refugees, which are also representing migrants in Gauteng. We are going to continue to work with them. We want to work with them. We want to make sure that we work together and ensure they are all in our province properly, in our country, safely and legally. But we also want to ensure that our state provides security to the borders and security to its own citizens. And for that reason, we don't want citizens to take the law in their own hands. It is the job of government to do border security, but also safeguard citizens. The job of government and law enforcement agencies. We want to work with civil society organizations that are also concerned about this issue of migration, including illegal migrants. We want to work with them. I want to emphasize we want to work with them. But nobody should resort to violence. Nobody should take the law into their own hands. And the law enforcement officers must do their job. And people should not be attacked or killed because they are foreign nationals. We must work together to make sure that we address migration. Is a big problem all over the world today. So the law enforcement agencies must do their work. The state must do its work. Civil society partners must do their work, and we must work together to address this issue. So I want to say again that no state can allow people to come in and out of its territory without proving that they have documents. There's no state worth its salt that can allow the movement of goods and anything in and out of its territory. There is no state worth its salt that will do so, but also there's no state that can allow citizens just to take the law into their own hands and start moving door to door and saying, these people are illegal migrants. So let us work together with law enforcement, including with civil society organizations of migrants and civil society organizations in our townships to address this matter properly and effectively so that Gauteng cannot afford to have killings and attacks of foreign nationals again. We can't afford it at all. So, honorable members, I want to come to an important part of the mandate of our administration and report back to you. The issue of integrity promotion and dealing with corruption is a matter that people of our province have been greatly concerned about, and this legislature has also been greatly concerned about. The Gauteng Provincial Government adopted an anti-corruption strategy and an integrity management framework in 2016. That framework has got core pillars. It focuses on prevention, it focuses on detection, it focuses on investigation, and it focuses on consequence management of the outcome of those investigations. I am glad to report to you now the numbers of what we have been able to do. Yeah, I'm glad to report to you the implementation of our anti-corruption and integrity management framework is led by the Gauteng Ethics and Advisory Council together with the Office of the Premier to ensure that there's strengthening of prevention, detection, as well as investigation and consequence management. But we are also working with other agencies, honorable members. Public Service Commission, the Public Protector, the Auditor General's Office, the Human Rights Commission also refers matters to us as well. And law enforcement agencies, we open cases. In this report, you will see how many criminal cases. Don't say how many, I don't arrest. I don't arrest. We open cases, we open criminal cases, we discipline. We have disciplined 138 officials in Gauteng, 138 of them have been disciplined. 42 criminal cases have been opened, and law enforcement, the criminal justice system, including the prosecution authorities and our courts, are busy following up. We are working with the Special Investigation Unit. The Special Investigation Unit has done a lot of investigations. We have seen those. We have taken action. Every report they have submitted, we have taken action to suspend officials, to discipline officials, and where they are done with that work, criminal cases needed to be opened, we have opened those criminal cases. We have implemented every recommendation from the Auditor General around investigations. We have implemented those in departments where the Auditor General has said you have a problem of supply chain. Let me report to you what we have done. I did that the last time. All supply chain officials are now being vetted. They are subjected to vetting. Senior management are also subjected to vetting in this province as part of detection and prevention. We are also, when the public protector submit a report in Gauteng, you can ask the Special Investigation Unit. You can ask the Public Service Commission. You can ask the Public Protector. You can ask the Auditor General. Every report they submit to us and say, take this action, we take that action. We implement consequence management in Gauteng province. I am reporting to you today on the actions we have taken, because you will get the full detailed report, department by department, case by case, the course of consequence management. And that report is ready, honorable members. That report is ready, and in this State of the Province address, I want to assure the people of Gauteng, this provincial government takes action when there are issues identified by the various institutions. Of course, we can't send people to jail because there are other agencies that must do that job. The prosecution authority, the courts must preside over that. And our system of consequence management is to ensure that disciplinary action is taken, and where cases must be opened criminally, people must be criminally charged, we do so. So I am very glad that you will see this provincial administration is really taking action on issues of integrity. So honorable members, you know that we have introduced the open tender system, which was undermined during COVID. There's no retreat on the open tender system. There's no retreat. Consequence management is action you take, disciplinary action, including charging people criminally. That's what you have heard about consequence management. You don't know what it means. You suspend officials, you discipline them, and you also you follow up with the SIU, assessed forfeiture unit, to retrieve the money that has been lost. That's what our report says, to recover and retrieve the money. So that's extremely important for you to know. Don't just say consequence management because you don't know what it means. So, honorable members, me and the Gauteng Ethics Advisory Panel will release that report after the State of the Province address. The report will say exactly what I'm telling you. The issues that are coming from different investigations, different recommendations, what action has been taken on those issues. So it's absolutely important, honorable members, honorable members, I have said to you before that we do vetting, and the lifestyle audits is something we were the first province to really talk about and ask the State Security Agency.
Honorable
Let me give you an
Honorable
update.
members, can we have order?
An update. You want an
Honorable
update? Thank you. You do want an update. You want an update? Thank you. You don't want an update?
Honorable members,
want an
I'm sure you
update?
will have your time on Thursday to debate, please. Can we be spared,
Yeah,
please?
they've just taken 45 minutes of my time. So, honorable members, I have given continuous updates on vetting of senior officials, SCM, supply chain officials, and senior management. Now, the Provincial Executive Committee of the province, that's the MECs and I, have now gone through rigorous interviews with the State Security Agency. Listen, honorable members. Rigorous interviews, because you have been asking, where are the lifestyle audits? So I'm updating you. All MECs in our province and myself, because there's a framework of lifestyle audits approved by the president. You know, the president approved it last year. That framework, they are using that framework. The first province to use it is Gauteng province. So the State Security Agency is using that framework. We are the first province. So I'm saying to you, last year I reported all MECs had submitted and filled the vetting forms, all the lifestyle audits and vetting forms. What has followed is they have now undergone, honorable members, interviews. Lifestyle audits and vetting interviews are a very important part of the life stage. So what are we waiting for now? What are we waiting for? We are waiting for them to, they've done the finalization of the interviews. We are waiting for them to complete the report and give it to me. So on our part, we have done two things: the forms, the filling of vetting forms, and the interviews conducted by state security agents to verify everything about every one of us. They've been able to do that. That is the update, honorable members. And we are waiting for the report. That's on the lifestyle audits. And it's not, I want that report tomorrow. It's not in my hands when they'll submit it. They must complete their work. I want that report as of yesterday. So they have completed. So honorable members, these MECs who are here have gone through those two processes. Rigorous interviews. So the people of Gauteng will know that our provincial government has also been paying attention to clean audits. Clean audits are an important aspect of our prevention, detection, as well as investigation and consequence management system of fighting corruption. We know, honorable members, that we have done very well as Gauteng province in the pre-pandemic period. Between 2014 and 2019, we had the best audit outcomes in 5 years. 64% of all our auditees got clean audits. And I know in 2016, 2017 in particular, all departments in Gauteng got 100%. They got 100% unqualified audits. 100% unqualified audits. In the past 2 years, we had 1 year of regression, but this year I am glad to report that we have three new candidates that have joined the family of clean audits in the new financial year. The Department of GDAT, the Liquor Board, are new candidates that have joined our clean audits family. So let me say, honorable members, we are also paying attention to cleaning up departments that had very, very adverse reports. The Department of Human Settlements had very adverse reports. We are following up, progress is being made, we are dealing with the disclaimers. Any entity that has a disclaimer, making progress in each of those, because all of them must get out of the problem that their books cannot be relied upon. So, honorable members, it is important to say that we are paying attention to this issue of clean audits in Gauteng province. I've already reported that investigations by the SIU, every one of those outcomes of those investigations, we have acted on them, and others that still require disciplinary processes, those are underway. And we are not going to retreat on that matter. It doesn't matter. We have also learned hard lessons from the PPE corruption, and we are strengthening prevention, detection, investigation elements of all departments in our province. So it is therefore critical that whatever is raised, honorable members, about no, there is no action, you will see the action that is being undertaken. And in this regard, we have taken that relevant and appropriate action, and we are following up on other departments. I did say the Liquor Board, the GDAD, and the Cradle of Humankind are new candidates in the clean audits. We welcome them. Let's give them a big round of applause. In the family of clean audits, the leading departments on clean audit in Gauteng have been the following, honorable members. The three leading departments on clean audits. The Office of the Premier, 9 consecutive clean audits. Gauteng Treasury, 9 consecutive clean audits. And the Department of Cooperative Governance is the next that has the highest number of clean audits. These are departments that are leading by example in Gauteng province. So, honorable members, let me conclude by talking about our municipalities. I want to return to the issue that in Gauteng province, we have new leadership in local government. We welcome all the new councillors. I particularly want to welcome all the mayors who are here. Let's give them a big round of applause to our mayors, your worships. We welcome you. You are elected by our people. It doesn't matter how you were elected when you got into the houses, but you now have a responsibility to lead our people. Yes. You are elected by our people, and we are going to work with you in Gauteng to address all the challenges that we have referred to. We have been supporting local government in Gauteng, especially during COVID. We learned great lessons on how to work through the command councils and the district development command councils. We have worked together with local government very well. We have strengthened the IGR system during COVID, and important lessons have been learned. We are going to roll out the DDM system here in Gauteng. But the truth is, service delivery as we speak, and especially in infrastructure, has collapsed in many parts of Gauteng. That is the truth. That is the truth. The task we are going to face is not only the responsibility of municipalities to fix service delivery, fix infrastructure. We will work with the mayors. I repeat this. We are going to work with the mayors in the mode of emergency that we worked with during COVID-19. There are many areas in our province where municipalities can do better. And I want to announce every Thursday and Friday I will be in a municipality with the MEs. Every Thursday and Friday will now be service delivery Thursdays and Fridays. I will be in a municipality working with the leadership of that municipality and the councillors to deal with issues of service delivery. If the province is responsible, mayors, if it's housing issues, if national is responsible, if it's water and sanitation issues that need national, if it's electricity and we know needing some big part of it needing national, we will, if it's roads, we have a big responsibility on roads. Every Thursday and Friday, we will be in each municipality. We will not do municipalities at once. Every Thursday and Friday, we will be out there working with the mayors. And I wanted to say to you again, mayors, you have our full support. And we are not going to work along the lines of political parties. We are going to work as government. Because the people of Gauteng want the elected government to work for them and not to work for parties and not to work for the purposes of what the coalition governments or the particular governing party wants to achieve. If that is irrelevant to service delivery, we have to find a path of breaking with that to go to the people together. And I also want to say, in 2017, we established a debt management committee together with municipalities. The new leadership of local government needs to know the debt management committee is the one that has been dealing with billing, resolving all billing disputes, clearing all rates and taxes that need to be paid. And on average, we are paying 2 billion rands to municipalities per annum in Gauteng. On average, 2 billion rands is paid by the Gauteng provincial government to different municipalities for rates and taxes in Gauteng. So where there are outstanding rates and taxes, we work with those municipalities to look at if the municipality cannot substantiate billing. And I must tell you, one of the first mayors to speak to me about this issue, Mayor Palazzi, was one of the first mayors to speak to me about this issue. I know municipalities attend, they do this work, they clear all the debt. So where there are outstanding amounts, I have said to departments, and I've said to Treasury, you have to settle those outstanding amounts. We can't wait for a department to pay a municipality because they are managing their own issues. If there's a dispute on the rates and taxes, that dispute must be subjected to a process because there are issues also around billing. There's no municipality that can pretend. But municipalities must be paid for rates and taxes because they need that money to service the people in the residents in their own communities. That has to be done. We must work together in the systems we have put in place across our city region. So I want to conclude by saying that the big issue that worries us is payment of service providers on time. So there are departments. I've dealt with that issue of corruption. You were not listening because you were making noise. Non-payment of service providers. I want to report today that there are departments that are 100% compliance with paying service providers in 30 days. In the past year, the latest report, The following departments are, especially the third quarter report, as of the end of December 2021, the Office of the Premier, the Public Roads and Transport, Agriculture, Economic Development, Treasury, COGTA, Human Settlements, and e-government have been able to meet the 100% compliance with 30-day payments. Education, sports, arts, culture and recreation, and community safety, they are between 95% and 99% in meeting their commitments. Education, sports, arts and culture. Now, I want to report to this House. There are 3 departments. Firstly, it's 2 departments, but they are joined by the third now. So health is a big problem with the non-payment of service providers. I'll explain what we are going to do. DID is also a big problem with the non-payment of service providers. Social development has now joined them, MEC. So I have a team, myself and the MEC for Treasury, are one of the big things with health. It's really the big problem that the health has only complies 33% with the payment of service providers. So we have a team that is clearing these outstanding payments of service providers, team made up of Treasury and the Office of the Premier. And this team is also going to be meeting with every service provider who's owed by any of the Department of Gauteng. Any service provider. I will be there myself. I will be there. I'm not going to delegate with every service provider, so we have a path to ensuring that there is settlement of all the outstanding payments that have not been made by our government. So I would like to conclude, honorable members, by going back. I want to conclude by going back to saying that we will rebuild our province brick by brick. It is difficult times that we are facing, but we will consciously and collectively confront all the challenges that we are facing. I want to reassure the people of our province that we are aware that some of the social and democratic gains made in the period 1994 and 2019 have been severely reversed in the last 2.5 years. That includes the erosion of quality of life amongst people. That includes the increasing levels of corruption, blatant, and we are glad that the state capture report is getting finalized and the last set is coming out. In this province, as I say to you, the report that the Gauteng Ethics Advisory Council is going to release with me will demonstrate to you in each case, in each area, what consequence management has been done or is being done. Corruption and the erosion of social living standards of our people are a big problem. So we want to build a province based on rule of law. We want to build a province where social and economic justice is underpinning that rule of law. So rule of law, we are a constitutional democracy based on rule of law, but the nature of our constitutional democracy is that it's also based on social and economic justice. You can't separate those. Rule of law and social and economic justice is what characterizes the nature of our constitution. Transformative constitutionalism is what characterizes the nature of our constitutional democracy. So don't separate the two. We wish to reassure the people of our province. We have now reordered our priorities. The number 1 priority is economy and jobs. Service delivery is a critical area of focus. Confronting corruption in all its manifestations, dealing with crime, and building a capable state, and going in every area in our province to fix the infrastructure and service delivery backlogs is what we are going to do. I reiterate that we can only move forward together by ensuring that no one is left behind, as our president says. I want to thank the people of Gauteng for the trust and responsibility bestowed on us in the past 8 years. Let me say that we are not perfect. I am not perfect. But one thing must be clear. We are honest and sincere and committed to serve the people of Gauteng with utmost integrity. To serve our people with utmost integrity. And we thank you very much for the opportunity to have served you and will continue to serve you in the next 2 years of the remainder of our term of office. God bless you abundantly.
Thank you, thank you. I wish to take this opportunity to wish our Premier a happy birthday in advance. Tomorrow is his birthday. While today, one of our own from the Gauteng legislature, Mr. Ralph Chilwane, was his birthday. Happy to you, sir. Now that we have received the address, Premier, we request that the address be forwarded to the table for placing on the order paper in terms of Rule 16. After I have adjourned the sitting, members are requested to please proceed to go outside the hall for a group photo, and they'll be ushered by the protocol team to show us where we're going to have a group photo. I will also request that guests remain seated until all members have left the chamber. Yeah. And let me also announce that our next sitting will be on Thursday, the 24th of February at 10 hours sharp at the Gauteng Provincial Legislature in our building. I now declare the sitting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Give us a light.
Yeah, no, it's out of my brain.
But
if you listen to Master KG speak, you will get a gist of it.
Okay, Master KG. I haven't heard him speak. To be honest, I haven't.
I don't think you're interested.
I haven't at all. I got a text over here. DK, you talk about your share. Okay, I don't know what I said. But I think correct.
I think Shaya.
Oh, Shaya. Okay. He knows only 2 languages.